Hi, I'm Bella, and I live with my mom and older sister Joanna in Iowa. My sister has always been so overprotective about me. I thought all of that was love, but little did I know, she'd become a psycho to hunt me down. It all started when we were kids. One evening, a few kids from the park were bullying me because I didn't have any toys. I stood there crying when Joanna came to the rescue. She stared at the kids angrily, picked them up one by one, and tied them together to a tree, and they cried their eyes out.
Nobody hurts my little sister. You'll remember this lesson. Come on, sis, let's go.
And she never changed. Growing up, she was my tomboy bodyguard, and she would beat up the boys who pulled my hair. She was just always there for me. Our mom was a very disciplined lady. She taught us sculpting when we were very young. Soon, it became our passion.
Bella, sweetie, your mini sculpture is selected to be displayed at the upcoming national event. It calls for a party. What do you want for dinner, honey?
But what about mine, Mom?
When Mom said no, Joanna's face went long. Joe, your sculpture is meant for bigger things. Mom, let's order from Joe's favorite Italian restaurant.
It's okay, little sis. I'm proud of you. You don't have to feel guilty for me.
And she hugged me tight and we both jumped happily. Everything was normal. We were all happy. The next day, we went to school together. As I entered my classroom, I saw we've got a new teacher.
Good morning. I'm Miss Kelly, and I'll be handling your English classes. Now, can you all stand up and introduce yourself?
Well, she seemed less enthusiastic for a first day talk, and when it was my turn to introduce, she kept staring at me, surprised, as if she just saw a ghost. She slowly came to me, and her eyes were tearing up.
Your eyes. You've the same eyes like my daughter. I lost her when she was very little. She would have been about your age now.
And she began to break down. She lost her daughter. I felt so sad. I stood up and gave her a hug as the whole class started murmuring and laughing. After class, I stayed back and talked to her, and she seemed so happy about it. But then, Joanna came to my class looking for me. I excused myself and walked towards Joanna when Miss Kelly held my hand and thanked me. Just then, I noticed a mark on her hand. The same mark that I have on my right arm, too. What on earth? Before I could come to my senses, Joanna pulled me away.
Guess what? There's this new cute guy in my class, and I'm in love. He's so cute, Bells. I can't take my eyes off him.
Finally, there's someone good enough for Joe. Phew! Joanna wouldn't stop talking about her new crush, and I couldn't help but think about Miss Kelly. The next day, at her class, she brought a homemade cake for me. The other kids started calling Miss Kelly a weirdo, but she didn't bother. So the kids turned to me.
Bella, are you sure you're not adopted? Miss Kelly could be your real mom. Even her hair color is the same as yours, and you're both weirdos.
What? Could it be possible? Mom and Joe wouldn't hide such a big thing from me, would they? After class, I went looking for Joanna, but she was nowhere to be found. So I decided to wait for her in the cafeteria. A guy approached me and introduced himself as Chad. He then told me that his friends had given him a dare to kiss me and get a little kiss from me. He asked me if he could. That was a bit weird, but as he kept begging me, I let him give me a little kiss on my cheek. He wanted another kiss on his cheek, so I kissed him. It was getting late, and Joanna was nowhere to be found. I walked home all alone when a car passed by and stopped. It was Miss Kelly. She asked me to hop in and that she'll drop me off at my place. Miss Kelly, about your daughter, you didn't look for her?
I looked everywhere for her, but she never came back to me. Anyway, is that your location? The map says it is.
I nodded and got out of her car. When I reached home, Mom told me that Joanna isn't well, and so she was resting. I went straight to my room and took a nap. Suddenly, I woke up to the sound of scissors, only to find Joanna in my room with scissors in one hand and a large strand of hair in her other hand. It took me a few seconds to realize what was happening. I touched my hair, and it was gone! My long hair was cut roughly into a bob cut. Joe, what are you doing? Why did you do that?
Oh, please, drop the act. I can see right through you now. All these acts of innocence won't work for me anymore. You thought you could steal my love and I would just let you?
What are you even talking about?
I saw my crush kiss you today. How could you? You just want to steal everything good in my life, but I won't let that happen anymore.
Just then, I heard Mom scream and went straight downstairs. Mom, are you okay? What happened?
Bella, sweetie, your sculpture, the one that was supposed to be displayed at the national event, is broken. I don't know how. I just came out of the room to cook dinner and found it all broken here. Oh.
I knew it was Joanna, but how could she stoop so low? My own sister chopped my hair, and now she broke the sculpture out of jealousy. She had crossed the line, but how do I stop her?
Oh my God, Bella, what happened to your hair? Honey, why did you...
Just then, Joanna reached the hall with a pair of scissors in her hand, and Mom realized what happened.
What happened to the sculpt?
Oh, please! Stop acting now. I know it's you. You didn't stop at chopping off my hair, did you? You had to do this. Mom, it's Jo. She chopped my hair, and it was her who broke the sculpture. I know it.
What? I didn't break the sculpt. Mom, she's lying through her teeth. She always wants to be the innocent one when in reality she's the main villain in my life. She likes to steal everything nice that belongs to me.
I broke down as I said that, and so did Mom. She didn't say a word to either one of us, but she started to cry all of a sudden.
It's all my fault. I've tried to protect you both from a big secret. But as it turns out, it's gotten worse. I've always been more inclined towards Bella, I know, but that's only because...
I know the truth. I know why you're so inclined towards Bella and not me. I'm adopted, isn't it?
What? Is that the truth? Could Jo be adopted?
I'm sorry I made you feel that way, Joanna. I had a sister once. She died while giving birth, so I took her baby and raised her like my own. That baby is Bella.
I am adopted? Oh my God! I thought about it, but I really didn't actually think it would come true. I felt like my whole world came crashing down. My mom isn't even my real mom, and my real mom is gone. How do I process all this? Joanna suddenly came running and hugged me, and so did Mom, but I didn't have anything to say to them, so I rushed to my room and locked myself in. Why did Mom lie? If Mom had a sister, why did she never mention her? Why doesn't she even have a picture of her? Was she lying? Oh, wait, Miss Kelly said that her baby was gone. Could I be that baby? I had to know. The next day, I went to school before Mom and Joanna woke up. I started looking for Miss Kelly, and there she was in her classroom, sitting alone in her own thoughts.
Oh, Bella, your hair. I like it, but you're early today. The class doesn't start until 8.
I told her that I was getting bored at home and came to school. I talked to her for an hour then. Could she really be my mom? I decided to ask her about her daughter, and what she told me gave me chills. She told me her baby was stolen by a woman. Just then, the bell went off. At recess, I sat as far away from Joanna as I could and ate in silence, when suddenly, Chad came and sat next to me.
Hey, do you remember me? My friends dared me yesterday to kiss you and to get a kiss from you. I was actually going for the basketball match after lunch. Would you want to join?
Actually, yes. Why not? As I walked across the canteen with Chad, I could feel Joanna's eyes on me. I had no intention of going to the match with Chad, but I just wanted to get back at Joanna for doing horrible things to me. But I don't know why I was enjoying the time with Chad. He was so sweet to me. Turns out, we were supporting the same baseball team, and we had so much in common. Chad and I sat for the game to start, when suddenly Joanna shouted at us from a few feet away.
Hey, Chad and Bells, come sit here. It has a better view.
Chad agreed and decided to move. I had to sit next to Joanna, who didn't say a word the entire time. After the match, when I tried to get up from the seat, I realized that my jeans had been glued to the seat. Then I saw the evil smirk on Joanna's face.
Enjoyed the date, sis? You should have just backed off after I chopped your hair.
Are you crazy? What is wrong with you? What you saw was just a stupid dare. Ask Chad. And here you are trying to embarrass me in front of everyone over a dare. Over a guy. You're just unbelievable, Jo. Chad helped me get out of the chair without tearing my jeans, and I left without having a second look at Joanna. I was pissed at her. Chad asked me what's going on, but I just asked him to leave me alone for a while.
You know I like you, right? And I know you like me too, but there's something pulling you back. I don't know why you're so hesitant. Is there something wrong?
I am sorry. I like hanging out with you, but I'm not sure it's the right thing to do. Joanna likes you, and I can't do this to her.
That's not fair. Bella, please, listen to me.
I was not in the mood to listen to him. I walked away with tears in my eyes. I couldn't bear hurting anyone. I was sitting alone and trying to control my tears, but Joanna found me. You just can't let me spend one moment in peace now, will you? What are you gonna do next?
Bells, I'm so sorry. I didn't know about this stupid dare. I feel so horrible. You don't have to do this. It's obvious you guys like each other. I heard everything you said.
I don't want to talk about it. Please. There's nothing like that.
Don't lie to me.
But before I could say anything, Joanna stood up and pulled a pair of scissors from her pockets and started to chop her hair. What on earth? Even though I was super mad at her, I couldn't help but laugh.
I hope now we're even, Bells. Please, 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 please forgive me now. I just didn't realize what I was doing until now. I'm sorry about your hair and that I tried to glue you to a seat in the bleachers, but I didn't break that sculpt. I swear, but I'll help you build the same one to display it at the event. If we work together, we can make it.
I forgive you. I like this hairstyle better on me anyway. I could feel the guilt in her voice and gave her a hug. Mom and Joanna later helped me build the same sculpture before the big event. Everyone praised my work, but I mentioned how Mom and Joanna helped build it with me. We never talked about Mom's sister or my alleged real mom. For what I knew, she could be lying. I just needed some proof. Meanwhile, I started to get close to Miss Kelly. She was so much like me. Her hair, her eyes, even that mark on her arms. The closer I got to her, the more I was sure of being her daughter. One day, I invited Miss Kelly to my place for dinner. If Mom really stole me from Miss Kelly, she's gonna remember her. She's going to get nervous. We were all waiting for Miss Kelly at dinner. Finally, when the doorbell rang, Mom opened the door and her eyes widened as soon as she saw Miss Kelly.
You're Miss Kelly? Oh my God!
My heartbeat fastened. I was right all along. But then, Mom and Miss Kelly hugged each other and burst out laughing. Wait, what was happening?
My God, it's been what, like 20 years since we last met? So, Bella's your daughter? This is such amazing news.
Turns out, Miss Kelly was actually my real mom's best friend. That is, Mom's sister's best friend. They grew up together, but parted ways as they got married. When Mom told her that I was actually her best friend's daughter, Miss Kelly hugged me.
I knew there was a connection between us. Your mom would have been so proud to see you today, just like I am.
So much has happened in the last few days. It's just too much for me to handle. I thought Miss Kelly was my real mom, but she was actually my real mom's best friend? OMG! And thankfully, I wasn't stolen as a baby like I thought. Phew! Miss Kelly, what's that mark on your hand? I've got a similar one on mine.
Oh, it's funny, actually. Your mom, my best friend, used to have this mark on her hand. I got the same mark tattooed on my arm so that we could be like twins. Teenagers.
We all burst out laughing. Mom asked where Miss Kelly lived, and she told us she lived in a small apartment all alone.
You don't have to live alone. You've always been like a little sister to me. Come live with us. You don't have to live with the guilt of losing your daughter, and I don't have to live with the guilt of losing my little sister. As a family, we could complete each other.
Miss Kelly agreed to live with us. We were all very happy to have her. We were a big, happy family. I apologized to my mother for not being grateful. After all, she gave me a perfect family and took care of me. She hugged me. It was perfect. That same evening, Joanna took me out for ice cream, and Chad was right there waiting for me. Joanna wanted me to have another date with him. Joanna and I were back to being best friends forever. I guess it's true when they say family will always have your back. It all comes back together.